Hello everyone, this is Nova. This is the legendary Only 10 Decks video. This was a tag that was created a few years ago by Katie Flowers. A lot of people made a VR to this tag back then. I also made a VR to this tag 2 years ago, and this is a revisit to the tag for me. I did not go and watch my previous video though. I did not want anything to influence my decision in picking these decks now. So this tag says if you had to pick only 10 decks out of your collection, in a hypothetical situation like if your house was on fire, from what I understand, that means that you could also never buy these decks ever again. I'm saying that because if the condition was that you could buy in the future, you could buy more decks, then my choices would have been different. So I went into this picking of my decks with the idea that I could never have any of these decks that I have now in my collection. With that thought, I picked 10 decks plus one. I tell you why, because one of them is my own deck. So of course I would pick my own deck, especially because this one is out of print and will never be back on print because it got picked up by Rockpool. So I had to take it down, make playing cards. Nevertheless, of course I would pick my own deck. So I did not count this in the 10 decks, please. Let me just, let me do it this way. I have 500 decks and I love all of them. Like I am in love with 80% of my decks. So you could imagine how hard this was for me. So I will show you guys my deck at the end as an honorable mention. Let's begin the Only 10 Decks video. The very first one that I want to show you is the Northern Animal Tarot, the 3rd edition. This deck is my soul deck. When the 1st edition was released, that one became my soul deck immediately. And then when I saw the 3rd edition, which is very different, like the production is different, then this deck became my main soul deck. So this is the box, and I have not opened it from here. I left the stamp intact and I opened it from the bottom of the box. Let me show you this deck. So this edition is linen cardstock and the colors are brighter than the 1st edition. I still have the 1st edition and I love that one as well. But if I had to pick one of the two, which was the case in this video, I would definitely pick this one. I have done many readings with it, but usually I do the readings with the 1st edition, and I have put this one back in order because I wanted to make a side-by-side video. I didn't yet, but anyways, look at this. It's a fall deck as well. I mean, I use it in all seasons, but it has quite autumnal energy, right? Look at the devil and the tower. The cardstock on this deck, it's amazing. I follow their Instagram page as well, and they have created a new deck. I forgot the name. What's the name of their new deck? I don't know anymore. You can check Wilderheart Studio or Northern Animal Tarot. So this one is number 223 out of 1000. I'm not going to show you guys all the cards. This is my soul deck because of the way I feel about it, because of the way it reads for me. These animals are my friends. This is not just a favorite deck. it's like going home working with this one. And the deck comes with extra cards. So these are some spreads, and these are the extra cards. You have season cards. Look at this one. Moon phases. Picking these decks was actually not that difficult for me, because I know how I feel about these decks, you know. It took me like 10 minutes to decide. Next one, let me show you these two together. Jupiter Power Tarot by Six Sad Girls and the Mythologia Fenica Tarot by Susanna Salo. This is a mass market tarot published by Rockpool, and this one is indie. Both of them are also quite new to me. I bought this one like 7 months ago, 8 months ago, and this one came to me like 2 months ago. But the thing about both of them is that I have realized that a lot of deities are interested in communicating through this one and this one. And if you have these decks, I encourage you to go and try it out. So the Jupiter Power Tarot has a very poetic guidebook. This is Charlie Quintero, the creator of this gorgeous deck. And this is a plant deck. These are the backs. It comes edged. Look at this. Look at this artwork. I mean, I am in love with the artwork as well. The quality of the cards, the color palette, the energy of this deck. It's incredible. It's so fashionable as well. But this deck works like a charm for deity work. Deities, I mean, if you do deity work, you definitely know this. They have a preference with the deck that you use, and some deities are interested in some specific decks, and they're not interested in some other decks. But this is like, I have tried it for readings, for connecting with many different deities, and it always works. It is so incredible. I'm getting goosebumps right now. Oof. And I love the artwork. When you have these cards in a spread with all these different shades of greens and blues and purples, black, white, and gray. Look at this. It's incredible. And also the cardstock. I also think that's a very personal experience, but I also think my tactile experience with the cards has an effect in invocating deities into my reading. It does make sense to myself. I don't know if it makes sense to you or not. This deck definitely has deity energy. I don't know if the creator's intention was this or not. If they are even aware of it or not, I don't know. But I really recommend, if you want to do some deity work, get this deck, or if you have this deck, definitely try it out. And the other one is the Mythologia Fenica Tarot. So the same as the other one, this deck invites deity energy in. Look at the box. The guidebook is really cool. Look at this guidebook. And I have put this one back in order because I want to study it. These are the backs. It comes edged in this gorgeous silver that again invites deity. Some stuff really invite deity energy. And it is such a personal experience. You know, I can imagine that some of you would be thinking, what the hell are you talking about? But it is really like that. I love this Empress, Lohi. So this is about Finnish mythology. The whole deck is Finnish mythology, deities and concepts and myth, legends. So reading the guidebook is very interesting, of course. I am in love with these paintings, with the artwork. I really like the cardstock, although it is a simple rock wool cardstock, but it's matte and nice. And I don't know, there's something about this deck. As I said in the beginning of the video, I have 500 decks. I have a lot of really high quality cardstock. I have handmade decks. I have very precious out of print decks, all sorts of really precious stuff in my collection that I am in love with, but I chose this one. But the main reason is that, again, this one attracts deities. Again, I have tried this one for 20 deities, around 20, and they all come through. They all want to communicate through this deck. I mean, of course, I do the ritual and everything, the invocation ritual. And I have been using tarot for connecting to deity for years now. Yeah, really, I have a lot of respect for this deck. It's really cool. And I am definitely going to get the indie version as well, because I'm just really curious. And the indie version is brighter, like the colors are more saturated. Okay, so the next deck that I want to show you is the Naivi Tarot by Giovani Vegeta, published by Il Meneghello in Milano. So this deck was created in 1893. This is a handmade deck by Il Meneghello. I have quite a few Il Meneghello decks, but why this one? I don't even know why. But when I was picking the decks, when I looked at this one, I knew immediately that, yeah, I really, if I cannot have this, I mean, I really prefer to have this one over a lot of other decks in my collection. And that means a lot to me, because as I said, I love all my decks. It's just something about this artwork, the combination of the artwork, the cardstock, the paper, the colors, the depictions, and for some reason it is even nostalgic. Like when I was a child, I have seen books, or I don't know, older books, stuff, I don't know where, but it's somehow nostalgic for me for some strange reason. Maybe my past lives, God knows, maybe in another life I was involved in creating this deck. I don't know. I don't have a logical reason for why I chose this, but I am also very sure about choosing this. Like, I know 100% that this is a good decision. If I can have only 10 decks out of my 500 decks, this will be one of them. And it shuffles so well. I mean, it feels good, you know. The paper. These decks you have to hold in your hands to know what it is. I mean, in the camera, what you're seeing It's just the looks. So this one was the third one. No, sorry, the fourth one. 4 decks so far. Okay. Then I definitely need a Dodal and a Noble. Jean Dodal and Jean Noble. I chose both of them from the same publisher and from the same cartomancer, Jean-Claude Flournoy. One reason is that I have added some color myself, and that has made these decks very special to me. So I have added the pinks to the Noble, and I have added this purple color to the Dodal. Okay, let me show you the Noble. So this is a smaller deck. These are the gorgeous backs, and this deck comes in sharp corners. Oh, this one is also in order. Great. I work with my decks for a while and then I put them back in order, because I want to be able to find the card that I want quickly. Look at this deck. I mean, oh. And I have many versions of the Noble. Also from the Dodal, I have many versions. I have the photo facsimile version of both of them, and those are precious. Oh, what's happening here? Came out of order. Anyways, those are precious, of course, but for some reason I prefer this deck. I just love this deck so much. I love the tactile experience. It's really nice. I love the cream background. I like the clean lines. I like my added pink. It's just so good. I love the blues in this deck, the light blues. I mean, look at this. Gorgeous, gorgeous deck. I love it so much, and it reads so well. So I would definitely need to have this and the Dodal. So they are both published by letarot.com. This one is a large deck. I love Dodal. I love the expressions in the faces, the big eyes. And again, the tactile experience of this deck is also incredible. This cardstock is so good. As I said, I have many versions of the Dodal that I love very much. And I even have the photo facsimile, an old copy, very old, that I bought secondhand. Let me show you. Let me just show them to you. Look at this. This is one, and look at the size difference. You see how cool this is? This is very old. Like, this actual copy is very old. And the other one, these are two different Dodal copies. Look at this one. See? I love these. And this is a Noble. This is also a photo facsimile. Look at this. But I still preferred these versions from Jean-Claude Flournoy. As I said, it just makes me happy. It's just something else. So they really make me happy, really. Love the size of this deck, it's huge. The next one is the Kazanlar Tarot. I have the new edition of the Kazanlar Tarot with the black borders. The older edition is with gold borders. I find them both equally gorgeous. So these are the bags. I've edged it myself. And this gorgeous deck is in Persian miniature. The style of artwork is Persian miniature. And Dr. Kazanlar studied Persian miniature in Tehran University in the 40s, I believe. So like 80 years ago. Or no, 60 something years ago. I'm not sure exactly when. I have his autobiography. So each suit is a different culture. I mean, you get all different cultures and religions in this gorgeous deck. It comes with a guidebook. You can buy this deck on Dr. Kazanlar's website. I mean, he passed away in 2021, but his family is selling the deck now in Hungary. It is quite expensive, but it's worth it. It's like 150 euros. But it's definitely worth it. And I chose this deck because of the way I feel about the artwork, mostly. Because I am very much into Persian miniature. My own deck that I'm going to show you at the end is a subcategory of Persian miniature. And there is so much esoteric symbols and stories and meanings behind each card. Dr. Kazanlar worked on this deck for 10 years, and it was first published in 1986, I think, by MGM Urania in Switzerland. The one with the gold border. That one was published in the 80s. So I would definitely take this deck because I just love it. And it reads really well, especially if you use the guidebook. Another deck that I would need to have with me forever is the Gentle Tarot, and especially this edition. This is the linen edition, which is smaller than the standard first edition, but bigger than the tin version. So this one comes in linen cardstock. What's happening here? These are the spreads. I have edged it myself. These are the gorgeous bags. Oh, this deck is everything. This is a hug deck. I love the depictions, the color palette, the soul of this deck. The fact that it's a nature and animal deck, because I love, that's my favorite genre of tarot and oracle. Nature and animal. And this is a true hug deck. And I see myself as this girl. Oh, I love this High Priestess. Such a gentle deck. It's so beautiful. And the guidebook is incredible. Marie in the Sky is the creator of the deck and the author of the guidebook. And this is a masterpiece. This is really, I'm not exaggerating, this is really a masterpiece. One of the greatest tarot decks of our time. Always when I think of 10, like top 10 decks, this is the first deck that comes to my mind. I am 100% sure that 2 years ago, the video that I made 2 years ago was also featuring this deck. As I said, I did not go and to take a look at my previous video, but I'm 100% sure. I will put a link to that video in the description box, by the way. Look at this, 7 of Wands. So we have 2 more decks to go. Another deck that I am absolutely in love with is the Johan Kristoff Hess. And my copy, guys, my copy is more than 100 years old. This actual copy that I have in my hands. I bought 5 decks from an old lady in Besançon, and this is one of them. Look at these colors. I love the tactile experience of this deck. This is just a type of paper that does not exist anymore. I took this deck to a printer, to a big printer, and I asked them, what is this cardstock? And they said, whatever, blah, blah, that does not exist anymore. European card paper that they used to use specifically for tarot decks in France, and it was actually quite expensive as well. So I bought this deck with another 4 from an old lady in Besançon, and all of them are more than 100 years old, and I will put a link to that video. I made a video about them where I give you all the information about the details on each deck, and I show you all the cards and everything. I will link that video in the description box. The last one doesn't have a box, so I have put it in this box. So this one is the Feng Shui Tarot. This deck was out of print for years. It still is. And I was obsessed with it. Like for a while, I was really obsessively looking for it. I found a few copies, but they were all like more than $200 on eBay. And this is also in order. Yeah, I wanted to make a flip through video of this. So anyways, I was obsessively looking for it, but I didn't say anything. Like I showed it once to my husband, that's it. I said, yeah, look at this deck, that's really nice. I cannot find it, but that's it. That's all I said. And then one day for my birthday, he came with this deck. And it's just so sweet and so funny because I didn't say anything to him, and he's not into tarot, and I don't even know how he knew that I'm looking so obsessively for this one. Look at this death card, transition. Anyways, he went and found it online, and he also paid a lot for it. I have trimmed the borders a little bit because I wanted to have sharp corners. So yeah, he found a very clean second-hand copy, but without the box. But it's okay. I mean, the cards are brand new, as you see. And I love the look of this deck. I mean, so okay, the story was the sentimental value of the deck, but also I love the depictions. I love how it reads. I love how it feels. Again, the moment always when I think about top 10 decks or only 10 decks, even only 5 decks, this deck comes to my mind. The same as Gentle Tarot. This is a forever deck for me. It's gorgeous. This is my cup of tea. Everything about it. So this was the 10th deck that I chose. And now let me show you my own deck, the Kajar Oracle. I created this deck a few months ago. It has 77 cards. These are the gorgeous backs. I mean, I think I've done a really gorgeous job on this deck. The whole design is mine. These are Kajar paintings from the Kajar Imperial Dynasty of Iran, which ruled over Iran from the end of 1700 until 100 years ago. And these paintings are Kajar paintings. These are all really large, like life-size paintings. And this is a subcategory of Persian miniature. So I gave them really nice keywords. I mean, their personality traits. Like this one is people pleaser and this one is problem solver. So not only I picked it because I created it and I love it, but also because this deck really works. Like it's so useful because of all the keywords. The keywords are awesome. Mad poet, consultant. And because I needed one oracle deck, so this is actually the only oracle deck that I have chosen for this only 10 decks video. And it is actually interesting that although I think I have more oracle decks than tarot decks, I think. But it is very interesting that all the 10 decks I picked are tarot decks. So guys, this deck will be published by Rockpool, so wait for it. It will come out, of course, in a different format and everything. I am super excited about it. I have changed a few things on the deck to meet Rockpool standards and guidelines, and I am actually very happy with the change. I've wrote a beautiful guidebook for it. So that one is also coming out in the future. Guys, thank you so much for staying to the end. I hope you enjoyed. I really appreciate you stopping by. I am very grateful for your comments. If you have not subscribed to my channel, maybe you consider doing it. And I hope to see you in the next one.